Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley with Haley Stitches, and today I'm going to show you how to make a super easy one charm pack quilt. You can download a copy of this free pattern using the link in the description below. Let's get started. These are all of the supplies we'll need to make today's quilt. You'll need 2 3/4 yards of background fabric, a charm pack. I am using the fabric Elixir by Melody Miller. You'll need a long quilting ruler. I'm also going to be using a couple small square rulers just to help trim things a little bit easier. You'll need your rotary cutter, your rotary cutting mat, a matching thread, and a marking utensil. I like to use these friction pens, but any marking utensil you have will work just fine. And everything I'm using in today's video will be linked in the description below. We're going to start with cutting our background fabric. So the first step is to square up the edge of your fabric to make sure you have a nice edge to work with. Then we can start cutting our width of fabric strips. So some of the strips in this quilt are actually wider than my 6-inch ruler. So I'm going to use the lines on my cutting mat to help me with the cutting. Before you do this, just check your ruler against your cutting mat to make sure that the lines on your mat match up with the lines on your ruler. So I'm going to use the lines on my mat to find the 9.5-inch mark, and I'm going to make 3 9.5-inch by width of fabric strips. Then I'm going to set those strips aside because we're going to cut all of our strips first and then subcut into our squares and rectangles. And we'll need 2 more strips. These ones are going to be 8.5 inches wide, and we'll set those aside. And then we'll need 4 more smaller strips. These ones are 4.5 inches wide. And lastly, we're cutting our sashing and border strips. So if you want to save fabric, you'll cut 11 of these, and that's what the pattern calls for. And I'm going to cut 13 because I'm just going to cut mine a little bit differently. And I'll show you that as we assemble the sashing and borders at the end of the video. Now it's time to subcut all of those strips that we just cut. So I'm going to stack 2 9.5-inch strips together and then trim off the selvage. So these strips are still folded in half from when I cut them from the yardage, and we'll keep them folded in half just to make the trimming a little bit quicker. And I'm subcutting these strips into 9.5-inch squares, and this is where that 9.5-inch square ruler comes in handy, but if you don't have one, you can just use the lines on your mat like we did before. So this will give us a total of 8 9.5-inch squares, and we're going to subcut that last 9.5-inch strip into a couple of squares. So we only need to cut a little bit from this strip, so I'm going to unfold it and then cut off the selvage on the end. And from this strip, we'll cut 1 9.5-inch square to get a total of 9 9.5-inch squares for this quilt. And then we're going to cut 1 8.5-inch square. So I'm just going to adjust my ruler to go on the 8.5-inch mark and then trim from the side and the top to get that smaller square. And you can use whatever's left from this strip to put in your stash to save for later. Now we'll subcut the 8.5-inch strips, putting 2 on top of each other, keeping them folded in half to make the cutting go quicker. We'll trim off that selvage, and then we'll subcut these strips into 8.5-inch squares. And we'll use the 8.5-inch lines on our ruler to cut, giving us a total of 9 8.5-inch squares for this quilt. And the last background strips we'll cut are the 4.5-inch strips. So we'll cut the selvage first, and then we're going to cut these 4.5-inch strips into 4.5-inch squares. And 4 of these strips will give us a total of 36 4.5-inch squares. And we'll keep everything folded in half and stacked on top of itself just to make it go quicker. And then on the end of the strips, you'll have to unravel that folded piece, and that'll give us the extra 4.5-inch squares that we need. So for the background fabric, you'll have a total of 9 9.5-inch squares, 9 8.5-inch squares, and 36 4.5-inch squares. Next, we'll choose our charm pack squares. So charm packs come in packs of 42, and we only need 36. So you can take out 6 squares and choose the ones that you don't want. You can save them for another project. The Sawtooth star blocks in this quilt are made from the 4 at a time flying geese method, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So you're going to need a 1 9.5-inch background square and 4 charm pack squares. You can choose whichever colors you want. I do recommend mixing and matching. And then on the back of each of those charm pack squares, you'll draw a diagonal line corner to corner. And this is where we'll know where to sew when we're sewing our flying geese. So the 4 at a time method is just a super convenient way to assemble flying geese, and it is a lot faster. So I think it's a good skill to know. So the first step is to place 2 squares on our bigger square in the diagonal corners like this, and you'll do right sides together. And then you can see we'll sew a 1/4 inch away from either side of those lines. So this is what it looks like after it's sewn. You'll sew those 2 lines, really similar to half square triangles if you've done that before. And the next step is to trim on our marked line. So I like to line it up and down like this just to make it a little bit easier to trim. And we'll trim that block in half to get 2 identical pieces. After we cut them in half, we'll need to press, and you'll want to press up towards the darker fabric. So press away from your background fabric. This is what it looks like after it's pressed. And then we'll take another one of those charm squares that we selected earlier and drew the line on and line it up in the corner of the quilt, right sides together. And you'll repeat the process. You'll sew a 1/4 inch away on either side of that marked line. After you sew it together, you'll cut it in half again, like we did before on the marked line. And this will give us that traditional flying geese block. So you'll repeat that process again for the other half of that original block we trimmed in half. Use that other 4th charm square that we picked out earlier, line it up, sew, and then trim again. And all of these instructions are detailed with graphics in the pattern, just to make it super easy for you if you end up downloading that free pattern. And the last step before trimming is just to press all of these flying geese open. So again, you'll press it towards the darker fabric away from that center background fabric. And each of these pairings will give you a total of 4 flying geese. And the last step is to trim these flying geese down. So this can get a little bit tricky. You do have to do like a tiny bit of math to make sure everything is lined up correctly. So it is worth taking your time, making sure everything is lined up. The most important thing is that that center part there is a 1/4 inch in, because that'll give you the seam allowance so you don't lose your points. So it'll be a 1/4 inch in. So it'll be at the 4 1/4 inch line, and then a 1/4 inch away from the top. And that's how you know that everything is lined up correctly. So when that middle piece is lined up with the 4 1/2 inch mark and a 1/4 inch away from the top of the ruler, then you'll be able to trim off 2 sides. And after you trim these 2 sides, you'll rotate your block around and trim the other 2 sides. A rotating mat is helpful, but definitely not necessary for this process. And then when you're trimming the other 2 sides, you want to make sure that your left side is lined up on that 8 1/2 inch mark, and then the bottom is lined up on the 4 1/2 inch mark. And then that peak is at the 4 1/4 inch line on your ruler. And once everything is lined up there, you can trim the final 2 sides. There's also a 45-degree angle line on your ruler that you can use if your ruler has that, to make sure that, just double check that everything is lined up correctly. And you'll repeat that trimming process for each of the flying geese that we've assembled. To make all of the flying geese units needed for this quilt, you'll just repeat that pairing of the 9 1/2 inch square with 4 charm squares until you get a total of 36 flying geese. Now it's time to assemble our Sawtooth star blocks. So in the center, you'll have an 8 1/2 inch square, on the corners, the 4 1/2 inch background squares, and then you'll mix and match 4 flying geese to give you a really scrappy look. So we'll first assemble these blocks into rows. So top row, middle row, and bottom row, using a 1/4 inch seam allowance to sew it all together. This is what the rows will look like after they're pieced, and then we'll need to sew all the rows together. But first, you'll want to make sure that your seams are nesting. So that center row, you'll press towards the center, and then the top and bottom rows, you'll press away from the center. And this will give us a nice nesting effect, where basically the alternating seams fit together perfectly to give us great crisp corners. And that'll be an important part of this quilt, just to make sure it gives you the good sawtooth star effect and making sure all of those intersections are lined up correctly. Here's what it looks like after the block is assembled, and you'll make a total of 9 of these Sawtooth star blocks. Before we assemble the entire quilt, we'll need to cut our sashing. So one method to do this, the way that the pattern calls for, is sewing all of the strips end to end and then subcutting them to the right size. And I am just going to subcut them before sewing them all together because it's just an extra 2 strips and I don't really mind that. So I am going to subcut 6 2.5-inch strips into a total of 12 16.5-inch rectangles, and that'll give us all of our sashing in between the blocks. And to make this go a little bit quicker, I am going to stack all of these strips on top of one another and then subcut them to size the 16.5-inch strip. Now that we have our short sashing strips, we can assemble the rows. So each of the rows are assembled exactly the same way. There will be 3 Sawtooth star blocks with the small sashing strips in between. So for the first block, you're going to sew one 16.5-inch sashing strip on either side, and you'll use the standard 1/4-inch seam allowance to piece this all together. And this is what that first block will look like after the sashing is assembled. And then you'll add the second block on the right side, and just so on, alternating the sashing strips with the quilt blocks. And this is what the pieced row will look like. Again, all 3 are pieced exactly the same way, so you'll just repeat that process for each of the rows. And then there are going to be long sashing strips on the top and bottom of each row. So I'll show you how we're going to assemble those long sashing strips. The first thing we'll do is trim off the selvages on the side. And I have all 5 strips stacked on top of each other right now. And then we will sew the strips end to end to get one super strip. And then we'll subcut the strips to size as we piece it. So some people like to do it diagonally, and some people like to piece them just up and down. I usually do up and down because I don't mind that look, but you can piece it diagonally if you prefer that look on the bias. So after you have your super long strip, you can subcut it first and then assemble, or you can assemble and cut as you go. For this quilt, because it's pretty small, I'm just gonna cut as I go. But I do recommend pressing everything flat and pinning as you assemble these sashing strips, just to make sure you don't have to worry about wavy sashing strips or wavy borders as you assemble this quilt. So I trim the sashing strip there, and that is my top border. And then I'm going to add the sashing strip to the bottom of the row the exact same way, pinning along the way, making sure everything is lined up correctly. And then I will trim it on the edge before adding the next row, and we'll keep alternating sashing strip, row, until you've assembled all of your quilt. And this is what the final quilt top will look like. If you like these one charm pack quilts, check out my latest video where I show you a super easy hack to get sashing and borders without all of these long strips. I'll see you there.